I hope I can simplify my question, Reverend Condro. I work with dementia and Alzheimer patients.
Mm-hmm.
And the anger is very much with me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been with them, working with them now for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the phrase that keeps coming to mind in my reading and everything is, they are my teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep saying, what do they have to teach me?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very proud, arrogant statement. And yet at the same time, I get frustrated because there's really basically nothing that I can do for them, with the exception of being loving kind
Mm-hmm.
towards them. And at times that's very difficult. And I'll give you an example. I was up, I heard a person yelling. So I went to her room and she was saying, there's a man in my room. And she had all the rails up because she crawls out of bed. And I said, well, I'm going to turn on the light and I'm going to be right here with you. And that was the only example I could give myself as loving kindness, rather than saying to her, I'm going to go get a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to stay with her. But this experience of being with the Alzheimer and the dementia patients make it very difficult for me to pray, to meditate, because I'm very distracted. Sometimes I get very upset, and when I see them come down the hall, I turn the other way so I do not have to encounter them. So I was wondering if you had any insights into helping me to be a woman of
Longer lasting loving kindness.
yes.
Okay. I think you're already working very hard on it, you know. My suggestion always is that we all aspire to bring perfection, but don't expect perfection immediately in everything that you do. Don't plan on anything. Never plan how kind you're going to be tomorrow. If you can hold up until the next hour, I think that's very good. It's always better to really think short term when you're trying to help others. So if you burden yourself by thinking, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, then it will look longer than it actually might be. So keep things always in mind based upon impermanence and change. One never knows what's going to happen next. And so therefore, this is a short, when you think, this is all I can do now, and in the nowness, if you can bring about more kindness and generosity, I think that's all that you can do, and that's the best thing to do always. And so, as you said, you seem to be in a situation that's very challenging, very difficult, and yet you are being kind. Itself, I think, is exceptional. You should be very happy that you are able to give so much help and kindness to the others. And, you know, be happy in that, and then allow the happiness to become a greater inspiration for you to continue into the next hour, into the next day. And in that short term, I think you'll do very well. There's nothing specific I'll tell you over here that you can do. I think you know already. Just keep doing it. Just keep working at it, keep doing it. And one thing that I felt I heard from what you were saying is you don't get time to meditate or the other things. Normally we meditate so we can be in a situation where we can be kinder. And you're already doing it. So that's all right. Never feel that sort of you're neglecting something. Well, your area of work is such a meritorious area of work. It's a virtuous action. And it's truly being able to use your life for the benefit of other sentient beings. Meditation is included in it. Always, I think, however, for your own strength and for your own inspiration, some formal practice is always important. So always be disciplined in your formal practices also, because formal practice is where you regain the strength. And sometimes the responsibilities become so distracting to the mind that we lose focus. And so our formal practice sessions give us the ability to refocus why we are doing the things we are doing and how we can do it better. So use formal meditation as a way of rejuvenating your inspiration and motivation. Do lots of mantras in working with the people, so because the mantras always will support your activities and actions, and it will give it a much more bodhisattva action sort of blessing will be evoked within the practice itself. And so if you're a Vajrayana meditator, we encourage people always to be mindful of the Guru or the Yidam or any of the Buddhas or the Bodhisattvas, and take any mantra that is something that your heart connects to immediately, and recite mantras and work with the breath and the mantras together. It helps the person, and it is very helpful for the people that you work with and interact with. It's always very helpful to keep a fluidity of a, we always encourage meditators to have the posture of post-meditation in action, but always engage in any action in post-meditation resembling a meditator in action. One can never separate that two. And so wherever you walk, whomever you work with, whomever you meet with, it must always manifest a meditator engaging in that activity. Okay? So thank you all.